Yo guys, what up, it's Mist here, and today I'm going to be starting off with my After Effects editing tutorials, starting from scratch pretty much. So, this is people who were new to After Effects, don't know much at all, and pretty much done what I've done now, opened up the After Effects program and gone, nope, that looks like a spaceship, and closed it. No, it's for people who don't really understand the program, so I'm going to be like starting off with very, very basics and working my way up and teaching you guys how to eventually edit better than me, hopefully. So, when you start off, you've got this if you've been editing in Sony Vegas Land, quite imposing interface. It's not really that user friendly, but once you get to use it, you love it. Alright, so first thing you want to do is go up here this is creating a new composition, so you want to go up to composition, new composition. Alright, you want to set all this to your settings. So this is my recommended settings, 1280 by 720, so that's what most clips you get are. Make sure you leave what aspect ratio on, leave that as square pixels, don't leave that on drop frame. Put it as whatever your clips frame rates are. I'll show you how to find them in a minute if you don't know them already. But usually it's 59.94. Resolution on full, and duration is the time that you want to go for. So that's milliseconds, seconds, minutes, hours. Alright. Then press OK. Alright. Now what we want to do is go to Project here and import clips. So you go File, right? File, import file. And then you can find your clips. So let's say I'm just going to import these gun sounds. Another way you can do this is, oh whoops, wrong thing. Click on the clip, drag it down to your taskbar, open up After Effects with it, and then copy it in. And that'll just drag in for you. So I'm just going to grab like, I didn't even know what I grabbed then. Whoops, wrong thing. Grab a couple of clips. Go away, I don't want you. And then that'll import all your clips into here. So, first things first, finding the frame rate. When you click on your clip, it comes up with this little thing here, right? So it tells you the dimensions, right? It tells you the length of your clip, and the frame rate. It also tells you this other shit, but that doesn't really matter at all. Alright, so first things first, get your song, right? Drag your song down here. This is how you put it into your composition. You just drag it from there down to this little box here. Alright, so now when you're on your clip, if you're used to Sony Vegas, you're going to be used to seeing your audio waveform just sitting there waiting for you with your decibels here and everything, but that's not what it's like in After Effects. So first thing, click this button. When you preview your audio, you will not hear anything. Press it again, you'll hear it. Alright, so if you go onto your keyboard and press L once while selected on your audio track, it'll give you your audio waveform, audio levels. So this is how you like increase or decrease the levels of your audio. Now if you double tap L, it'll bring up your audio waveform, right? So now you can see where all the beats and everything are in this song, right? So, and then if you want to preview your audio, now you just press space right now, it's not going to preview your audio, right? You're not hearing anything. But if you go onto your numpad, it's essential you have a numpad, otherwise you're going to be struggling with this. There is a way you can change the key bindings, but I can't remember how to do that. If you want to learn that, just search it up on YouTube, and there's a tutorial. I think Baker made one about black. So hit comma, full stop on your numpad, and that'll bring up this, alright? So you got your sound right here. Now, if you want to put a marker, because this is like how you sync, press on your numpad again, press the little asterisk, and that'll put a marker there. Now if you're selected on a track and you press the little asterisk, we'll put it on the track. Alright? So that's that. So we got like a sync beat right there, pretty much. Now, next thing is importing your clip. So I'm just going to use this clip, you just drag it in, I'm dragging it on top, and there you go, you got your clip right there. Now, first thing, opacity. This is something that you should learn to use a lot. Alright, so now coming down here into this little thing here, first thing you want to do is usually disable your audio unless you're using your audio for your gunshots, but I personally don't. Then if you see this little timer stopwatch thing, that's how you make keyframes. So if you press that, it'll put a keyframe there. Now if I skip, let's say, down to about here, and I press this little button here, drag that down to 0, and then when you scroll through your clip, you'll see it gets dark and dark and dark until it fades out. And let's say I go back up to here and I bring it to 100%, fade in, fade back out, not fade out, fade in, whatever. You get what I mean, I hope. Alright, so that's like your first thing. Next is time remapping. This is your basic syncing. So you go onto your clip, right click, time, enable time remapping. Now this will enable you to slow down and speed up your clip to a certain extent, but in the next episode I reckon I'm going to be teaching you how to use Twixt, which is a much more efficient way of doing this. It means you can get much slower speeds and much faster speeds without as much of a jagged sort of look. Right, so first thing you want to do is keyframe your home frame. So this is where you want everything to stay normal. Now, so let's say we want this frame here. I'm going to put a marker there, asterisk on the keyboard. So let's say we want this frame here to be where he shoots there, let's say. So if we do, we go to where we want him to shoot, click that button, move our timeline back to here so we can see it, grab the little yellow thing and drag it. Now this is going to be extremely fast, but pretty much instead of it being all the way down there, it's now here where the shot is. So that's like pretty much basic thinking, but after that point it's not going to stay fast, it's going to slow back down to the original composition speed, alright? So that's, hopefully you've got all of that. Now, I made myself a checklist because I've screwed this up so many times. Yeah. Alright, so I've done basic shortcuts. Now, preview rendering. So what you do to preview render is you come up here onto RAM preview and you hit this button, right? And now it'll RAM preview out what you like. It'll preview it like you exactly like you're gonna see it when you render it out. Now it's gonna go really laggy because my computer's being really dodgy at the moment, and whenever I preview while recording, for some reason it's like just like going all retarded. So it's not actually like, it goes like slower than it's actually meant to be for some reason. It's not real time pre-rendering it. I can probably change that somehow. I can't remember. Alright, I'll just leave it as this for the moment. Alright. So now, let's say you've done everything, you've like made your little OCD or whatever you're doing, and you want to render that out. So what you want to do, if you don't want to render out the whole project, because they render out the entire song. So what you want to do, you go to here, where it comes up with this little thing, drag that down to the end of where you want it to stop. So I want to stop rendering there, and then grab this one here, and drag that down to there as well. So now that's the little section that's going to render when it renders out. Now what you do is you come to the composition, go add to render queue, or control N. Alright, now everything here, this is your render settings and everything. You can change them if you want, but I usually leave them as I had them in this first place, I'm pretty sure. But what happens is, make sure you leave this, you check that, otherwise it'll drop your frame rate down. I just leave it all as it is, but this makes for quite large renders when you render out. So if you click this button here, it's going to show you where it's going to render out to. So I'm just going to call it what it is right now. Click on lazy, and you hit the render button, and it will render out what you have so far. Alright, so I will be back watching. Yeah, I'll be back. Alright, so now that's rendered, this is just personally my way of editing. I render out of After Effects, and I don't have Magic Bullet, which is just your color correction on After Effects, so I open up Vegas, because Vegas shrinks the file sizes immensely. It's not even funny. So if you don't know anything about Vegas, well, I'll sort of teach you a little bit here. So this is the import media, desktop, so I called it was comp11, so I'm going to open that, drag it down to my timeline here, double click to highlight it all, and if I was going to add a color correction, I click this little box. I've got some color correction presets, so let's say I just add this one. So now I've got my color correction on, file, render as, render onto my desktop as, let's say tutorial, or just tut, and I already have preset render settings which are on there, and then that's gonna, I'm not gonna actually render it out, but that's gonna render it out. So that's pretty much your basics of After Effects and a tiny bit of Sony Vegas. I use a bit of that. So that's just, yeah, if you guys have any effects and tutorials that you specifically want, just leave them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to give them a shot and let you know how to do them and all that. Next episode, if you're going to be wanting to continue on with me doing all this, next episode I recommend you, before you get to there, download and install Twixtor, optical flares, and Twitch, because those are probably the next 3 effects which I'm going to be going over. So yeah, alright guys, hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and yeah, I'll see you next time.